Night falls on the peaceful village. Ordinarily, this would be a time of fear. But this village is equipped with the latest modern technology has to offer. This village is equipped with streetlights. Hello boys and girls, it's Fog, and today I want to share with you my design for a nearly silent light detector. We're on the latest weekly pre-release, so this functionality is only available in the pre-releases or in the upcoming 1.3 build. But I thought I wanted to get a jump on things and figure out how to take advantage of some of the new functionality to do something really cool, and I'm going to share that with you right now. Those of you who have been watching my channel for a while recognize this right here. This is a silent bud detector, and we're going to use that as the basis for our silent light switch, light detector. So, like all light detectors, what we need to tell when grass grows or dies on this block right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to place a little square of grass around here, just like this. And we're going to put a dispenser right here. And this is why you need the new builds, because this is going to use the new feature in dispensers that allows us to dispense water. And that's one of the things that makes this silent, is the fact that dispensers can now dispense water. But before we do, we need something to catch all that water. So we're going to put those right there. And now if we put a thing of water in there, then we can trigger that. Let's get a switch here, right there. And you'll see what I'm talking about. If I trigger the dispenser, that triggers water. If I trigger it again, it pulls the water back in. And that is why this works. This is the level of the ground right here, okay? We're going to put a glass block right there. And this is where we would build our ground. It's kind of nice if the ground you're building on is grass, but it's okay. You know, as long as you got grass down here, this will work. And we're going to put a boat right there. And you can see that triggers all these pressure plates, right? And let's go ahead and connect all those pressure plates up with a little bit of redstone. That's our output. Okay, now if it's daylight outside, we want this to dispense water, so we're going to push this button there. When the water's dispensed, that raises the boat, which turns off all of this redstone. Now all we have to do is wire our bud switch up to our dispenser, and that is just as easy as doing this. Now, the only gotcha here is that we've got a block of glowstone down here, which does create light. So, if you're not doing this underground, oh yeah, there, of course, we've triggered it. That's okay, we'll trigger it again when we block it up here again. If you're not building this underground, you'll want to block all that off so that the light can't actually escape. And that's enough to do the trick. So if we set the time to night and wait patiently, that grass will die, and the boat will drop and the light comes on. And in the morning, the grass will grow again, which will release the water and cause the boat to rise, turning off the switch. Now, it can sometimes take quite a while for the grass to die, and for that reason, it's often a good idea to build more than one of these, sometimes 3 or 4 or more, and hook them all together through a single line with a set of repeaters like this, so that whenever any one of them triggers, it turns your lights on. Unfortunately, the reverse is also true. It can take a while for the grass to grow again. And if you're hooking your detectors up with a simple OR gate like this, that means that you have to wait for all of them to turn off before your lights are going to turn off. Here's one way that you can help solve that little problem. This circuit right here is a rising and falling edge detector. This torch here will flash when the signal drops, and this torch here will flash when the signal rises. And you can see that from over here when I throw this switch. A little pulse there. When I throw the switch again to turn the signal off, you get a little pulse there. So here's how you build that. You put 3 blocks in a row like that. You put one repeater set to the default, one repeater set to 4 ticks, and a little bit of redstone there. You put a block over that redstone and you tie all of these together. That's your input. And then you put a torch here, and some redstone there, and some redstone there, and a torch there, and a torch there. And that's all you have to do. Now when you throw the switch to turn the signal on, it sends a pulse. When the signal goes off, it sends another pulse. Now here's what you do with it. If you take that switch and hook it up to your output right here, then you can take the rising edge and attach that through a repeater over here. I recommend setting this repeater to its longest delay just to make sure that it has a very long pulse coming through here. You run the other one over to here onto this common bus, and then down below here we have another common bus, and we basically turned these 2 buses with these torches into one great big RS NOR latch. So that's an RS NOR latch down there. Then you take your dropping edge and hook that to the other input, the other bus on the RS NOR latch. Now whenever any one of those changes state from on to off or off to on, it will trigger the appropriate side of the RS NOR latch. So watch what happens when night falls. Night falls, and as soon as the grass dies under either of those detectors, it's going to change that state and trigger the appropriate side of our RS NOR latch, which turns our lights on. Now, when the other grass dies, that's going to send exactly the same pulse to the RS NOR latch, but the RS NOR latch has already been triggered, so that pulse has no effect. As soon as morning comes and the grass grows in one of them, that will drop the signal, which will send a dropping edge pulse to the other side of the RS NOR latch, turning the lights off. Then when the grass grows on the other detector, it will also send a dropping edge pulse through our RS NOR latch, but since the RS NOR latch has already been triggered, it has no effect. Well, that's about all I have this time. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, and we'll talk to you again later.